Jared here with a video on guitar and physiology and human anatomy. So our bodies are all built a little differently, and the way that our body is built is going to affect how we actually physically play. So we've got the idea in our inner ear, in our mind's ear, and we've got to realize that by playing it. Now it could be somebody else's idea, it could be original, doesn't matter. The idea is you want to get that idea out onto the guitar. And there's a couple of things that'll affect that, and one is that your shoulders are really actually going to affect that a lot. Now I have really broad shoulders, and they're actually kind of rotating forward, which is kind of a bad thing. Most physiologists are going to tell you that that's an issue that's caused by weak rear deltoids. That's baloney, okay? Because I have very strong rear deltoids. I have a very muscular back all over, but it's just my shoulders are rotated forward. They just happen to be. I have a very flat breastplate. I'm not a barrel-chested guy. I just have a flat breastplate, and my shoulders are kind of forward. It's not a good thing. It's probably a little less desirable, but it is what it is, you know. And if your body's built like this, you're going to have a hard time. If if you have a prominent breastplate, your shoulder is going to be back more in relation to your breastplate, and what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that you have a shorter throw for most of your athletic stuff, you know, be it bench press, be it boxing, be it whatever. But for the guitar player, it's going to be an issue because now you've got a longer throw and your guitar is all the way here, so you have to bring your shoulder back. But your shoulder doesn't go any back anymore, so then your elbow has to come back, okay? So now your elbow's back here, and now to play up high, you have to come in. That changes the angle of your hand. You see here? The angle of my hand has changed. I'm going to have another clip now where I get into a little bit closer and show about that. Maybe I'll just try it right here like this. Try it with this pillow here. We can see that if I put the pillow here, this will kind of simulate the effect of having a shoulder that's further back. So instead of my shoulder going further back, which I can't do, it is where it is, I can actually put the guitar out a little bit further in front. And so now that the guitar is further out in front, the angle is not quite as bad because now I have more space right here. My forearm has more space. It can go up, and it doesn't have to come across. Now, if I take it down, it'll have to come in a little bit more to get those upper frets. I put it out here, it's not as bad. I take it out, and the angle changes. And the higher up you go, the more exaggeration you see on that. You know, here, you get the pinky right up in front. We bring it back, the pinky comes over. You bring it out, the pinky comes out to where it can reach easily. You bring it back, it comes back over. And this all comes down to the shoulder. Players have solved this in various different ways. You can look at Michael Schenker. You know, when he was younger, he was playing with a guitar here. Now, he's kind of playing like this. Very bad. Because the head's forward, you're tense in your back, your whole posterior chain must support your head, which is pretty heavy, it's about 20 pounds. It's going to create issues with your whole posterior chain and your hips and your glutes, your hamstrings, all of that. So that's no good because you don't want to play with tension, you want to play confident. Probably the best player that has a build like mine, the best solution, the best player solution is by Zakk, who holds his guitar really upright, and that changes the angle. It's more like a cello, you know, where the cello's out in front and the neck is going almost parallel to the body. Where most guitar players will try to do something like this, or they'll wear it up really high like John Petrucci, where you end up looking like a music major, which John Petrucci is. That's not something that I want to go for a couple of reasons. Number one is that it looks stupid when you wear the guitar up high. Number two, it doesn't feel cool. I like to be able to to throw that right hand when I strum, and it feels good and feels relaxed. When the guitar's up here, I'm all tense and tight in the right shoulder, so that's no good either. So you really want to have the right hand low, and you want to have that left hand comfortable. Now, whether that's high or low, you can try to get it in different places. So you can potentially have the guitar where the left hand is comfortable, but not necessarily high up. So as you can see, this is an issue that I haven't resolved. This is an issue that I've stumbled across, and that's a good thing, because now I can figure out what I have to do to solve it. Hopefully I will. I haven't so far. About the best thing that I've found so far is to try to bring the guitar out in front. Okay, so now bringing the guitar out in front creates the issue of keeping it from sliding over. And we're getting to another issue of physiology. The other issue is that if you have a small waist, which I do, I have really broad shoulders and I have a tiny waist. So the guitar will slide right over there. You know, I have very narrow hips. Broad shoulders, narrow hips. I want to put the guitar in front, it slides right over. Okay, so then I can block it, right? I can do a little Muay Thai check, right? Check the kick. That's great. I'm good at that. People know it. Anybody who's sparred against me knows that I'm very good at checking kicks. And I also have very hard shins, and you don't want to kick me hard because you're going to get hurt. Not because if I did anything, because you kicked me too hard, man. But anyways, that has nothing to do with this. Let's see. So when you want to get the guitar where you can block it, but when you try to block the guitar from coming over, my weight is now on my left foot. What I have to do instead is I want to keep the guitar on my right foot. Now again, Zakk Wylde. What does Zakk Wylde do? Zakk Wylde will try to maintain an upright posture, and he does a really good job of this. And sometimes what he'll do is he'll put his foot up on something. And when he does that, that allows him to push the hips out more, because now he can put weight on that left foot. So if you pick the left foot up and you want to put the hip out, well, that'll help it block it. It's still kind of, you got to use your arm to put it in. But if you can put your hips forward a little bit, then you can hold the guitar almost stay there. You know, you can almost keep it there. Just don't have to use that much pressure with the right hand to keep it there, and it'll stay up there. And you can watch Zakk play, and he plays high up, and he plays with the guitar pointing almost to 1 o'clock. Okay, so that's it. This is a niche video for guitar physiology, and it's for guys who have broad shoulders, narrow waist, and are trying to play the guitar in high positions. Realize that applies to a very small minority of the population. So if that applies to you and you've got any ideas or suggestions, you have some expertise in physiology and guitar playing, I'd love to hear your comments. I really want to learn and figure out what it's going to take to solve this problem, because it is solvable.